We'll start today's practice in a child's pose. Your arms long on the mat, your knees wide. If you're feeling some tension in your neck and upper back after the day you might have had today, you can bring your inner thighs together for more of an upper back and neck stretch. Begin to breathe. Deep breath filling your lungs, and a long breath out, pressing the air away from you. And breath in, breath out. And walk both of your hands over to the right side of your mat and dropping your left palm over top your right. Feel the stretch from your left pinky down into your left hip crease. Take a deep inhale. Long exhale. And walk both of your hands over to the left side of your mat and dropping your right hand over top your left. Feel the length in the right side of your body. Come back to a child's pose, your arms reaching long toward the front of your mat. Rock left and right on your forehead, massaging the area, temple to temple. Press yourself up to a tabletop pose, your palms and knees planted on the mat. And once you've found this space, drop your belly, lift your head, cow pose. On a breath out, press the earth away from you, bringing your chin to your chest. Inhale, belly drops, head lifts. Exhale, curl your spine like a cat. And take a few more of these on your own breath, finding your rhythm. Maybe you take a few head rolls or rock your hips side to side as you do so, finding a bit of space where there feels tension. Sending your breath to those areas that need it. Come back to a neutral spine, tabletop pose. And reach your right leg behind you and your right arm to the sky, supported side plank. And pressing into your left palm, your left knee rooted on the mat. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Reach your right hand down your leg, left arm comes behind you, gate pose. Cartwheel both of your hands back to the mat, tabletop. Breath in, drops the belly, lifts the head. Breath out, curl your spine, chin to chest. Deep breath in, opening up your heart, reaching the crown of your head upward. Breath out, pressing it all away. Come back to a neutral spine. Extend the toes of your left foot long on the mat. Reach your left arm high. Supported side plank. Right palm rooted into the mat. Left fingertips lifted and energetic. And take your gate pose, reaching your left fingers down your left leg. Right hand reaches up and over your head. Breath in, breath out. And cartwheel both of your hands and your left knee back to the mat. Take a few more cat-cows on your own time with your own rhythm, connected to your own breath. Body and breath moving together. And gently come back to a neutral spine and tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Cycle of breath in and out. You can pedal your heels left and right, feeling a nice stretch in the backs of your legs. And then walk your feet up to meet your hands, ragdoll pose. Grab your elbows with your hands and let your head, neck, and shoulders melt toward the floor. You can keep a bend in your knees as much as you need to, especially if you have tight hamstrings. And take this stretch at your own time. Maybe you sway, maybe you find stillness, maybe you drop your hands onto your thighs for a more supportive version of this pose. Deep breath in, long breath out. And gently put a bend in your left knee, dropping your left hand to the mat. Reach your right arm high for a side bend. Opening up that right shoulder, peeling your heart toward the ceiling. And gently bring your right hand back to the mat, bend your right knee, lift your left arm. And feeling your fingertips reach upward, expanding, growing, opening, breath by breath. And drop your left hand back to the mat. And shake your head out, yes. Shake your head out, no. And we'll do that once more. Deep bend in your left knee, reach your right arm high. Drop your right hand back to the mat. Bend your right knee, reach your left arm high. Drop your left hand to the mat. Halfway lift, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, fold. Reach your hands above your head, extended mountain. Hands through heart center, forward fold. Halfway lift and lengthen. Fold. Extended mountain pose, arms reach high. This time catch your left wrist, bend to the right. Back to center. Catch your right wrist, bend to the left. Back to center, forward fold. Halfway lift, forward fold. Extended mountain pose, sweep your arms high. Take your side bend to the right. Breath in, back to center, side bend to the left. Breath in, back to center, forward fold. Halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Shake your head out again, yes and no. And then plant both of your hands on the mat. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. Drop your left knee, crane pose. You can bring your hands to the tops of your right thigh or reaching upward toward the ceiling. Your shoulders track down your back. Your chest is open and lifted. Your tailbone is reaching toward the floor. Deep breath in, breath out. Finding a rhythm with your breath to move you through these poses and also support you when they feel intense. When you feel the lengthening, your breath can help you stay and feel the pose a bit deeper. And drop your left hand to the mat, reach your right arm high, low lunge twist. You can stay here, or if you have room for a bind, reach for your left ankle with your right hand. Knowing that a no in your body does not mean a never, it just means not yet. So if this bind is not available to you today, it just means not today, not yet, but it does not mean never. And that's the beauty of yoga. We can come back time and time again and continue to practice and see our growth. Gently release the bind, dropping your right hand to the floor. Straighten through your right leg, runner's lunge. And slowly put a bend in your front leg. Sweep your right leg behind you, reaching your right arm to the ceiling, supported side plank. Continuing to feel the opening across your shoulders, the brightness in your heart as it reaches upward. Each time we come back to this motion, feeling a bit more space, a bit more freedom. And drop your right hand, right knee to the mat. Drop your belly, lift your head, cow pose. Curl your spine, cat pose. And drop the belly, lift the head, Curl your spine, chin to chest. Come back to a neutral spine. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. One more deep breath in. Exhale, breath out. Walk your feet up to meet your hands. Halfway lift and lengthen. Forward fold. Extended mountain. Take your side bend to the right. Back to center. Side bend to the left. Come back to center. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold. Sweep your arms high. Side bend to the right. Back to center. Side bend to the left. Back to center. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Forward fold. Breathe your arms high. Side bend to the right. Breath in brings you center. Side bend to the left. Come back to center. Forward fold. Plant your hands on the mat. Step your right foot to the back of the mat. Dropping your right knee, crane pose. Bring your hands to the top of your left thigh or reaching upward. Find some space between your ears and your shoulders, letting them fall down your back. Deep breath in. Long breath out. And drop your right hand to the mat, reach your left arm high, low lunge twist. And stay here or take the bind, reaching for your right ankle. Cycle of breath in, cycle of breath out. Slowly release the bind if you have it. Dropping your left hand to the mat, straighten through, runner's lunge. Left leg is straight, and your hips sink back toward your right heel. This can be an intense stretch, so feel free to walk your hands up toward your hips to give yourself a bit more support here. Put a bend in your left leg, sweeping your left leg behind you, reach your left arm high, supported side plank. And drop your left hand, left knee, drop the belly, lift the head, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Deep breath in, cow. Exhale, press the ground away from you, cat. Sink your hips toward your heels, child's pose. Let your head rock left and right, a nice massage for the forehead. Noticing how it feels to step from a place of thinking into a place of being. We go and we do so much throughout our day, but how often do we sit and be just as we are? And we can calm our body and our mind in this way. It can help us sleep better, can help us focus better. And take a breath in, and a long breath out. Downward facing dog. On a breath in, lift your heels, and bend your knees, and step to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, lengthening through your spine. Exhale, fold. Sweep your hands above your head. Hands through heart center, forward fold. Lift and lengthen halfway, plant your hands, step your left foot to the back of the mat, keeping your left knee off the mat. Reach your right hand high. Low lunge twist. And drop your right hand to the mat. Crawl your hands over to the left side for a side-facing, wide-legged forward fold. Your big toes can be slightly inward, almost pigeon-toed to protect the knee joint. Shake your head out, yes. And shake your head out, no, here. Halfway lift and lengthen your spine. Forward fold. And sweep your arms high here. And then interlace them at your low back for a bind. And breath in opens your heart. Breath out folds you forward with the bind. If the bind is too intense, feel free to release it at any time, dropping your fingers back to the mat. Slowly release the bind. Walk both of your hands toward the back of your mat. You're framing your left foot and reach your right arm high. Low lunge twist. So many different perspectives to see our practice. No one better than the other. And drop your left hand to the mat. Walk both of your hands back to the middle. Forward fold. Lift and lengthen halfway. Melt. Forward fold. And sweep your arms high above your head. And take the bind at your low back. Breath in opens your heart. Breath out as you fold forward. Gently release the bind, bringing your hands back to the floor. And then put a deep bend in your right leg, coming into a side lunge. Your hands can stay tented on the floor, or if you'd like a little bit more strength building in this pose, you can interlace them in front of you. And slowly shift your weight over to your left leg, deep bend in the left knee. Work your way back to the right leg for a lateral lunge. And switch sides, bending your left knee. And just slowly move with your own breath back and forth, right leg to left leg, working into the hip joints here. When you've evened out both sides, come back with both of your hands framing your right foot. Drop your left knee to the mat, reach your arms high. Crane pose. This time bring your hands to heart center. Gentle twist to the right. Seeing if you can bring your left elbow to the outer edge of your right thigh. Come back to center. Drop both of your hands to the mat. We'll make our way back to a downward facing dog, whatever way feels good to you. On a breath in, lift your heels, and bend your knees, and step to the top of the mat. And lift and lengthen halfway, forward fold. Sweep your hands high, hands through heart center, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthening your spine. Plant your hands, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Simply drop your right knee to the mat and reach your arms high, crane pose. Bring your hands to heart center and gentle twist to the left, seeing if you can bring your right elbow to the outer edge of your left leg. Come back to center. Drop both of your hands to the mat, and we'll meet in a forward fold at the front of the mat. Take another ragdoll, grabbing your elbows with your hands and swaying left and right. Shake your head out, yes. Shake your head out, no. And then heel toe your feet outward so that your big toes face out. Sink your hips, bend your knees, goddess squat. Your thumb knuckles are pressing against your heart. to help you open and stay lifted through your chest. Your shoulders are relaxed and gentle. You're breathing. Deep, rhythmic breaths, moving in and out of you. Slowly drop your hands to the mat, forward fold. And then we'll sink our hips to the mat, coming onto our backs. Hug your knees up and into your chest. You can take some rolls clockwise. And then switch, moving counterclockwise. And you can rock up and down your spine. We'll move into a happy baby, reaching for the soles of our feet, the inner soles of our feet. You can't quite reach that today. You can bring your hands to your shins or even to your upper thighs. And the goal is to have your knees bent and the soles of your feet reaching toward the ceiling. There's a flex in your feet to help you feel this pose. And take a deep breath in, and on a breath out, press your tailbone toward the floor, noticing if that changes the stretch or the sensation in your body at all. And these small adjustments, these small movements, helping to support us. And stay still in your happy baby, or take a few rocks left and right. Gently release, dropping both of your feet to the mat. Lift your hips, bridge pose. And pressing your arm bones into the mat as some counter pressure to help you lift your hips even higher. Notice the rise and fall of your belly as you continue to breathe. And imagine that there were a string connected to your belly button, maybe even your hip bones, reaching up toward the ceiling, pulling you upward, opening your chest. One more breath in, and slowly lower, one vertebra at a time. Rock your knees left and right. And we'll take Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together. This is supine butterfly pose. You can bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Let yourself be just as you are. Being and breathing, that's the name of the game in yoga. Gently hug your knees back up into your chest for another happy baby. Rock left and right, or find stillness. Drop your feet back to the mat, lift your hips, bridge pose. Letting this be a freeing motion, one that's opening and lifting. And so if it feels anything else but freeing, maybe you choose to lower, maybe you choose to bring a block underneath your seat for a more supported version of this pose. There's so many options to our practice, so many different layers to our growth and our support and our needs. And treat yourself accordingly. One more breath in. Slowly lower. Hug your knees into your chest. And rock and roll up your spine. We'll come to our seat. Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. The crown of your head is reaching toward the ceiling. Your sits bones are rooted into the mat. You can grab for your ankles, or you can reach your hands in front of you as you take a forward fold. And slowly come back up to center, letting your hands rest on your thighs. Drop your right ear toward your right shoulder. You can walk your left fingertips out a bit to feel the stretch even further. Come back to center. And drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Option to crawl your right fingertips outward. Come back to center. Bring the soles of your feet to the mat and your hands behind you so that all 10 of your fingers are pointing toward the front of the mat. Gently lift, reverse tabletop, lifting your hips just as you did before, but this time there's so much more opening in our shoulders, so much strength required of our arms, but so much opening to be had, so much freedom to be had in this pose. You can let your head fall back. One more breath in. Slowly lower to the mat. Gently fall onto your back, hugging your knees up and in toward your chest. Take a few rocks up and down your spine, and then let both of your knees fall over to the right. Open your arms into a T, gaze falls left. Hug your knees back into your chest and let them fall over to the left. Arms open, gaze falls right. Gently bring both of your knees back up and into your chest, and let the soles of your feet drop to the mat. And take your feet wide so that your knees cave in. You can let your arms stay open in this T. Just let yourself be here in this place of being and breathing, and full of relaxation as we head into rest. You can stay here for your final resting position or extend your arms and legs long, taking Shavasana, corpse pose. And corpse pose being symbolic of how at the end of each practice we leave behind an old version of ourselves in exchange for something new and refreshed. Especially if you took this practice in the PM hours, maybe before you head to bed, it can be a really awesome mindset to cultivate. One where you end the day and leave that version of yourself behind, where tomorrow is a new day, and to wake up and start fresh, to feel refreshed, renewed. And slowly begin to deepen your breath, wiggling your fingers and toes. And reach your arms above your head, pointing through your toes. One long line of energy, and then hug everything up into your chest and roll over onto one side into a fetal position. And with as little effort as possible, press yourself up to a seated position, bringing your hands to your heart center. Your eyes are gently shut. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out.